What is up, YouTube? Big Papa Jake back with another episode of It Figures, where you guessed it, I talk figures, and tonight I am going to unbox and review the Ringmaster, formerly known as Stunning Steve Austin, now known as Stone Cold Steve Austin. But this is part of the Monday Night War WWE versus WCW, and it's the Greatest Hits Series 2, I believe. And it's got the Build-A-Figure Gorilla Monsoon, so let's take a look at the packaging. And unbox this bad boy, and then we'll rank the wave and assemble gorilla on another video. So let's take a look at it. First of all, as I always say, big fan of the packaging. If you take a look at it, you got the metal grates and the flames that always remind me of the Nitro opening. I was a big Nitro fan, as you guys have heard if you're following the channel. Back in the day, I definitely was Team WCW. But let's take a look. As you see, you've got the Ringmaster, looking unlike any other version of Stone Cold Steve Austin or Steve Austin that we've seen. Short buzz cut hair. I mean, it's him if you look, no facial hair. But yeah, it's certainly a unique, I'll call it a deep cut. It's not really a deep cut. It's a, well-known look for him as far as, his history. But man, I never thought we'd get a figure like this. So yeah, let's take a look. There you got his mug right there. You got Gorilla Monsoon, Greatest Hits, Ringmaster, got the window up top. And you got the Ringmaster on the side, certified authentic in case you were wondering. There's the same mean mug on the side. Still got the same attitude, but now you take a look at him. That really looks like him from the side. But yeah, as you can see here, we got Bret Hart, DDP. We've got Ken Shamrock and, of course, the Ringmaster. And we're going to build Gorilla, who looks like we got his black pants with this one. So, yeah, let's do the tail of the tape, see what it says back here. We're going to put on the over 50-year-old glasses here. Ringmaster from Victoria, Texas, 6 foot 2 inches, weight 255, finisher, the $1 Million Dream. Of course, as we'll talk about with the $1 Million belt that you see there, he does have had $1 Million Man as the manager when he first came in. But let's talk about the blurb here. It says Raw, January 8th, 1996. Again, I guess I don't consider that the Monday Night Wars, even though I know Nitro was on in 95, so the wars really started then. But this really isn't Monday Night Wars era to me. I consider Stone Cold Monday Night War. But anyway, Raw, January 8th, 1996, on the Brother Love Show, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase introduced the world to a man worthy of the $1 Million Championship, the Ringmaster. Career highlights: $1 Million Champion and Hall of Fame inductee. Now, I must have missed the part where the Ringmaster got inducted to the Hall of Fame, because they don't have his WWF Championship there, or his Tag Team Championship, so essentially they're treating this like a different character. However, they have him in the Hall of Fame. Just messing around. It's a little fun thing to point out, but yeah, I certainly get it. So let's crack this bad boy open. Again, packaging, love it. Probably my favorite modern packaging right now. I do like the Legends packaging as well, but this is really good. It's uniform. I like hanging them on the wall next to each other so they all kind of look the same. And there you got the big flame, like it's the wars that it was. And believe me, it was the war. Let's take a look here. Looks like we got clips to unclip, but yeah, you got Gorilla's pants there. You got the Ringmaster there with his $1 Million belt. We'll have to monkey around with that a little bit. But yeah, pretty nice looking. Let's take a look. And I will say, I don't want to say there's not a lot of meat on the bone, but there certainly, you don't get a lot of bells and whistles. You don't get different colors and different outfits. You're going to get the plain tights. Yeah, I'm glad they put the $1 Million belts in here. They didn't have to do that. They've had a history of not putting the championships that they've talked about. In fact, there goes the hand. I'll talk about that when I unbox Bret Hart and about mentioning the championships on the back of the boxes and not giving them with you. Boy, we're going to have trouble again today, aren't we? I think I'd be good at popping these hands out by now. Believe me, everybody, when I don't videotape one of these things come out like butter. Alright, let's get the Gorilla Monsoon pants out. Again, we're not going to mess around with the Gorilla parts now. We're going to, we're certainly going to put that thing together and go from there. But I just want to get these out of here so I can get rid of the box. But yeah, you know, this is before Stone Cold became Stone Cold with the, you know, the new gimmick and the Austin 316 and things like that. And I don't know, you know, he made it work for the time. WCW was winning the wars and they needed something. They were throwing anything at it, and you know, Stone Cold had a little dabble. I don't even know what he was called in ECW, but from what I understand, he was, there we go, we got it. It didn't take long, did it? He was starting to become Stone Cold in the ECW time frame, but yeah, let's take a look at this figure here. Oh, kind of got some blue-green tights. I thought they were black tights. Interesting. It looks like they got black knee pads, black elbow pads. You got the white wrist tape holding up the number ones. Not exactly the number ones we're used to Stone Cold holding up, but I guess the Ringmaster was a different guy. I'm going to look at this belt, though. I don't know how it connects, but I think it's really loose. I just disconnected it and it doesn't seem to fit on his waist very well. It's a little different. I did not open when I got the DiBiase Legends figure that has this. I did not open that belt, so I didn't see what it was like. But it feels kind of loose around his waist, and we'll just have him hold it. You know, I put the different hands on him. But let's talk about the hands. Let's talk about the outfit. He's got two slapping hands or chopping hands, two gripping hands, and of course the number one's holding up here. I think he's a Roman Reigns fan. He's acknowledging his tribal chief. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about the, you know, the face scan. Head scan doesn't really speak to me as far as, yeah, that's Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, and I know, again, I'm going to call him Stone Cold. He's a Ringmaster. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not loving this figure. I get the character. I know, you know, it was a picture in time, but you know, the face scan. I mean, I don't know who it reminds me of. One of the Body Donnas, Skip or Zip. I don't know. Just doesn't. I would never guess if someone handed me this without the $1 million belt. Probably without the boots with the stars. As you can see, he's got his stars on his boot. But I don't know if I would say, you know, if I found this in a bin at a flea market, I wouldn't pick that up and go, oh yeah, that's the Ringmaster. That's Steve Austin. I'm surprised that I'm not really a fan of this figure. I mean, you know, but yeah, I mean, it looks good. His physique was decent, but yeah, I don't know. Got the $1 million belts again. Very, very, very loose on his waist. I'm going to put it back on him and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's like it doesn't, you know, the other belts you can at least clip it more than one place, but this one only has one latch that you can clip here. And I'll get that going. I wonder how long it'll take. Probably take me as long as it did to get that dang hand out of the plastic. Yeah, see, look, that's clipped in the back. Look how loose that is. That's the only place you can clip it. Functionality is not, so it looks like this. And it was loose in the box, you know, it was kind of sitting like this. I thought it was unclipped. But no, turns out it's just really loose. So yeah, I'm going to change the hands up. I'm going to, you know, put a gripping hand on there so he can hold his belt. But yeah, a little bit, again, was not watching Monday Night Raw in '96. I was completely sold Team WCW. I had heard a little bit about, you know, Steve Austin being the ringmaster, but I didn't follow it. I really didn't start tuning back into Nitro or to Raw until, you know, the Monday Night Wars were really full bore with Stone Cold and The Rock and the like. But yeah, I don't know. This figure is not going to get a thumbs up from me. I'm sure there's fans out there who really, you know, this was one they needed. This was a deep cut. I think they had to do it. I'm wondering. I think they've made one before. I don't know when in the past, but yeah, I'm just not a fan. The outfit is a little plain Jane. Again, I was a little surprised that it looks like green tights instead of black. I guess I'm just used to black tights on Stone Cold, but yeah, I mean, again, I would not know who this was if some random stranger handed me this figure, say, hey, want a wrestling figure? It's a famous star from WWF back in the day. I'd be like, nah, I don't know who that is. So yeah, clearly, I would not have bought this had I not been searching for that Gorilla Monsoon series. But again, I'll add it to my late 90s WWF shelf. And yeah, I'm not going to get him to stand up. I guess I got to get some of those ringside collectible stands, huh? I hear you can get a discount on them watching someone else's YouTube page. But yeah, like I said, just kind of an awkward figure. I don't know what I'm going to pose him with. I do have a $1 Million Man, but not the old man $1 Million Man. So I guess I'll just keep him in that, like I said, mid to late 90s shelf that I have for the WWF figures. And, you know, there's kind of a tweener era that I always wonder about as far as the like the Bob Backlunds of the world. I have a Bob Backlund figure when he came back to WWF, and I really don't know. I mean, that was in the early, probably 93, and I just don't know who to pose him with, who to keep that figure with. I know he had feuds with Bret Hart and things like that, but just kind of that weird era that has all kinds of figures that, Sergeant Slaughter he was in that era. Who might think, Jerry the King Lawler, things like that. But really, again, I don't think of this as a Monday Night Wars character. And again, deep cut, get it. Stone Cold fans are gonna love it. Just not for me. And if I had my druthers, I would, like I said, I probably would not even sign up for this figure if it weren't for Gorilla. So I guess good old Ringmaster, you're welcome for the money. You got my $22.50. But no, it's again, and a lot of the joints are really tight. I don't know. Let's take a look here. I don't generally go over the points of articulation here, but and again, it's sticking pretty good. But the elbows were kind of difficult to pose, but yeah, maybe it'll grow on me. Like I said, but for the most part, kind of underwhelming. Not a whole lot of meat on the bone. And I'm suspect you'll hear that again in this review. I got another one of the figures that I'm going to probably be a little critical on. But as far as this one goes, it gets a meh, Gorilla Monsoon, build a figure, that's why I bought it. But yeah, I don't see much of, much special about it. So unless you're really a Ringmaster, Stone Cold, Stunning Steve fan, you have to have everything in his arsenal. And I get it, there's people out there. But yeah, I guess I don't want to sound like I'm bashing this figure because I'm not. I just, again, not particularly overwhelmed by it. Head scan kind of ruins it for me. It does not. It almost looks like Dick Murdoch or something. I don't know who who that looks like, but it is not Steve Austin in my mind. So, anyhow, yeah, I guess this is the first time I've really been like, man, I don't really like this figure. All my rest of my reviews, I kind of gush over them, but again, glad I got it because of the Gorilla Build-A-Figure parts. But other than that, let me know what you think. Well, are you guys getting this one? If you find the whole wave, obviously a lot of people are going to get it. Are you guys just on the hunt for the Ringmaster? You're going to pose him with $1 Million Man. Yeah, what are you going to do? I can't even think of notable feuds that the Ringmaster had before he was Stone Cold. So certainly let me know what you think of him. Educate me. I'm always willing to listen. But yeah, sorry for taking a lot of time getting the hands out, but we got them. I'm going to let you guys go. We'll be back with another figure review. When we do, we're going to do Bret Hart and we're going to do Ken Shamrock very, very shortly. Otherwise, I'll just say good hunting and deuces.